Hey guys, welcome to the Rusty Beauties garage and to our 1976 TR6 project. We're kind of in the middle of an engine rebuild, but we are still waiting for the head to come back from the machine shop. Everything else is assembled. Mr. Chef Tash helped me with that in the last video. So while we're waiting for the head to come back, I have already done some work here without you. I'm sorry, but it's kind of boring. I mean, I replaced the insulators on the springs, top and bottom here, because if you remember when we were replacing the axles with CV once, we discovered that the springs needed new insulators and the shocks needed new bushings at the top and the bottom. So I replaced those, but I just took a quick time lapse because I didn't want to bother you with that. I also rebuilt the front hubs, changed the bearings there and the seals. But again, nothing interesting. So again, I just took time lapse of the process, and now we have to do something else, which is replacing these on the steering rack. And this is also something that I've shown multiple times on my channel, but this time I have a trick that somebody told me, and I want to see if that's gonna work. So we're gonna try that together. So without further ado, let's get crack-a-lacking. Alright, so if you've done this before, you know that there's a small problem here on only one of the sides. This side, this is the left side of the car, and on the left-hand drive cars, this is the easy side, because the gaiter that goes here has a very big opening on this side, which fits right on top of the hub of the steering rack here. This is where the steering column comes down and where the pinion meshes with the rack. So the gaiter fits right on top of the hub. That's why it has this big opening, which is very easy to go over the knuckle here, where the tie rod is. Because the tie rod end has this kind of like a ball joint here. But on the right side, that's the hard part, and let me show you why. So this is the right side, and the gaiter is ripped. That's why we're replacing them. But normally it goes all the way there, and this is its end. So you see how small the diameter of the tube of the rack that ends here is. So that's why we have this pretty small opening here that needs to fit over there. But we still have the knuckle inside here, and this small diameter needs to stretch so it can go over it. And this here is pretty big actually. Let's see if I can show you. Yeah, I can flip it inside out. And usually this gives us a lot of trouble, because when it's all greasy and stuff here, you can't stretch it to make it go over this. Once it goes over, on the other end, it's easy to climb over this diameter and clamp it. But to be honest, this is actually some new design. I've never seen one of these gaiters before, and maybe this is gonna make it easier to go here. First of all, my friend Eugene gave me these two easy trail boots. I don't know how this works, but I don't think that's gonna work for us. I think it actually needs to go over this, the entire thing. You lubricate it and you just slide it, and even this end stretches with this diameter and you push it over. So this is meant for CV joints where they have huge diameter. We don't need such a big diameter, so I'm thinking, what if we cut it here where the diameter is just a little bit bigger than the knuckle, and then we slide this entire thing over. But then we need to stretch this diameter here, and that's very, very thick here, believe me, it's very, very thick. We need to stretch it also to the same diameter to take the tool out. So I don't think we need to do that. That's not the trick that I'm actually thinking of. I think somebody told me we can stretch this over a cone like this, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of WD-40 here or something to be able to slide it. I don't want to grease it yet, but if we just lubricate it with WD-40 like this, and we stretch only this end, maybe this much, So this is one of you guys, somebody in the comments mentioned that. They were also mentioning that we should use heat to relax the rubber and then freeze it. And once it's frozen, when we take it off the cone, it's going to remain in this shape. And once it's over the knuckle, we can heat it up again and it's going to shrink. So let's do that. Okay, I think that's enough. So I'm gonna take it to the freezer now and we're gonna let it freeze while we disconnect the tie rod end and take the old one out and get ready for the assembling. Hopefully that's gonna freeze well. This is kind of how the shrink tubing is made, right? Pre-stretched, and then when you heat it up, it shrinks back to its original size. Hopefully that's gonna work. Right, it's actually the next day. Things happened. I had to go pick up kids from school, etc., etc., and couldn't come back to the garage. So, even better, because that gave time to the boot to freeze nicely in the freezer. So let's see if that's gonna help. So what we're doing here is we're gonna have to remove the tie rod end from here so we can slip the boot out. We can't stretch it that much to go over the whole entire end here. So we're gonna have to undo it. And for that reason, I'm just gonna leave the nut there so it doesn't fly. And we're gonna use our splitter, which has this shape, right? So it goes like this. And this bottom thing pushes on the bolt up and apparently splits it. So let's see. I'm gonna move you a little bit so you can see better. Telling you, this tool never fails me. It's fantastic, I love it. You see how easy it was? Yeah, for whatever reason I didn't even need the tool. So let's move you back. That was super easy, but sometimes it's really stubborn and you tighten a lot and then it goes back and goes crazy. So anyway, now, important thing here to know is that this end is threaded onto the tie rod very, very precisely. I mean, that's how you do your alignment on your wheels, right? So the length here is important. But we don't need to measure anything. We're just gonna count the amount of turns on the threads that we're taking off, and then we're gonna thread it back on the same amount of turns. So here there's a flat somewhere. What size though? I don't know. 15/16. Okay, it's smaller than 15/16, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna work. Okay, this nut is 3/4. So I'm just trying to unlock them. So now we have to somehow grab the tie rod and hold it in place so we can only turn the end. You can use this, just trying to work with the tools that are next to me instead of going to grab a pair of vice grips. So let's see, yeah, that works. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, it's almost off. 22, easy to remember, catch 22. Now we have to remove this nut as well. We could have kept it there for the distance, but we have to remove it as well, otherwise we're not going to be able to take this one out and put the other one in. So, okay. Loosen this clamp, and now this should be able to come out. Come on. Okay. So now let me get rid of the other one too, which is gonna be harder inside, the one that's ripped, and I'll bring you back. You don't need to see that. Okay, so everything is taken out, and this is the tube over which the boot needs to climb and get clamped there. Unfortunately, the only way to put the clamp there, we have to put it in advance of course, but the only way to put it there is by taking it apart, which I don't like, but okay, oh, I still have the rubber there, the leftover rubber that I need to take out. Okay, this is gonna go all the way there for later. Get rid of this now. Now here, important moment to know while we are here. This tie rod needs to be loose to move around, but still tight enough to stay where we leave it. So wherever we leave it, that's where it stays. If that's too loose, then there's a way here to split these two halves of this housing and adjust the number of shims behind. So when you tighten them back together to certain torque, they tighten just as much so they can keep the tie rod in this position. This one is perfect. I don't think we need to do anything about it other than adding just a little bit of grease here, just in case. It's greased, we're just gonna put a little bit more. Lubricate this shaft a little bit. So it's time to bring the boot. Let's see if our trick is gonna work. Okay, nice and frozen. Oh yeah, I think it shrinks very quickly, but oh yes, baby. Okay. Okay, let's climb it on the other side as well. So now I'm going to turn the steering wheel to the left, so that's going to shrink it here, and I'm already seeing it coming back. So I'm not really sure if I even need to heat it up or it's going to shrink on its own. But you know what? I'm going to turn the steering wheel to the left, I'm going to put it on top of the tube, and I'm going to hit it with a heat gun to see if it is going to shrink on its own. Well, look at that. You have better position than I do. I don't even know how to do it here. Like this. Okay, that works. Hey, it is back to the regular size. Wow, how far do I need to go? Now I have to loosen this a little bit, I guess. Okay, and now what's left is to put back the nut, put the tie rod end, 22 turns on the threads, lock them together and assemble it with the steering link on the vertical link here, and we're done with this side. So it used to be, the hardest part used to be to climb over the knuckle here. So now that we made that easy, thanks to you guys, I don't remember who commented, but I appreciate the advice. Now I know the new trick and I'm gonna use it in the future. Thanks for that, guys. You see how we help each other. So now we have to count here, so let me focus. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, oops, 2. Okay, and now we can lock them together again. Okay, and last but not least, assemble it with the link. Of course, we'll check them nice and tight. Don't need replacement. They're not greasable, so we can't grease them. Alright, so this side is done. I'm gonna do the other side on my own. The other one is much easier because the opening is already big. Like maybe I'm gonna show you when I get there. Okay, so this is what I mean. You see, this big diameter of the boot here can go easily over the knuckle, and it goes over that diameter over there. So I'm gonna just lubricate here a little bit, and here I'm gonna put a little bit more grease. This tie rod as well stays where we put it, so it is nice and tight, so no problem on this side as well. Okay, so this boot is replaced as well and assembled here, and honestly the process is so much easier this way. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing your experience with me so I can learn something as well. So you see, we learn from each other. This is such a nice partnership that we have here. I tried all kinds of tricks there around this knuckle, including cutting tin from pop can and creating a funnel so I can slide it up and then unroll the thing and pull it out. And it was like, sometimes it would go easy, sometimes it was like really hard, but this is such an easy method. Just stretch it. And anyway, I think that's gonna be everything for today. Not because the video is too long, but because I don't have anything else to do. I mean, not on this car anyways, because the engine is assembled as far as I could go, and now I need the head, but the head is still in the machine shop, and I'm afraid that I'm not gonna get it on time here, so it might come back after New Year's. I also started a job that I haven't showed you yet. I think maybe that's gonna be in the next video. I started doing something with the heater inside the cabin, and I got stuck there as well. But like I said, I'm gonna show you that in the next video. I'm waiting for parts and I can't do anything else. I actually have a big shipment as well that is stuck for, I would say, 3 weeks now in a place because of Canada Post. Our Canada Post service was interrupted because the workers are on strike. So my package is stuck there, and it's also for this car, but it's for something that I haven't told you yet. So when the package is here, we're gonna talk more about it. So anyways, that's gonna be the end of this video today. And I actually have a few more hours here that I can spend in the garage, so I might turn you around and do some work on this car here. So yeah, maybe that's gonna be the next video. I don't know, we'll see. I don't know when I'm gonna post this video, but I'm assuming it's gonna be somewhere during the holidays. So I wish you all happy holidays and happy new year. All best wishes to you and your families and your loved ones. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.